Take a deep breath, turn off the lights, and listen closely to what I'm about to tell you. I was never the kind of person who believed in the supernatural. I'm a logical guy, rational, grounded. But after that night, everything changed. No, I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I just want this story recorded before I forget who I am. It started when I got a phone call from a small town courthouse. My grandfather, whom I hadn't spoken to in years, had passed away. He left me his old house, out in the middle of nowhere, an old manor in a forgotten valley, surrounded by thick woods, no neighbors, no roads on GPS, just trees and silence. I figured I'd check it out, maybe sell it. I had nothing better to do, so I packed a bag, some canned food, flashlights, and my old voice recorder. It was just a weekend trip, but what I found was the beginning of the end. The road was narrow, all dirt and roots. The trees hung low, like they didn't want me to come through. The deeper I went, the heavier the fog got. Like a warning, like a veil, I arrived just as the sun disappeared behind the hills. The house stood tall and silent. It felt like it had been waiting for me, still intact. Windows dusty, curtains swaying, even though there was no wind. I pushed the front door open, and I smelled it. Sweet and rotten, like fruit left to die in a basement. I turned on my flashlight. The inside was dark, still, covered in sheets. Heavy old furniture, Victorian style. Solid carved wood. But the thing that caught my attention was the mirror. An enormous oval mirror in the middle of the living room. Iron frame, and somehow it reflected more than it should. I slept on the couch that first night, wrapped in a musty blanket, exhausted. I woke up suddenly. The recorder was still running. Timestamp, 3:12 a.m. And then I heard footsteps upstairs, slow, dragging, but I was alone. I climbed the stairs, step by step. The boards creaked under me. Every room was empty. Dust, silence, nothing. The next day, I explored the basement. There were boxes full of my grandfather's things, old newspapers, Latin books, yellowed portraits, and in the far corner, a shoebox filled with cassette tapes. One had a handwritten label, March 14th, 1974. He spoke to me tonight. I was curious. I found an old player, inserted the tape. The audio was faint, but I heard my grandfather whispering, "He's in the mirror. Don't look. Don't listen. But he'll whisper. He'll say your name." My blood froze, because the night before, I had dreamed that someone whispered my name from behind the mirror. That night, the horror took shape. I dreamt I was standing in front of the mirror, but my reflection didn't move with me. It smiled, alone, a wide, inhuman grin, and then it said, "You know who I am." I woke up in a cold sweat. The house felt different, colder, alive. The mirror was fogged up, like someone had breathed on it. and in the center, a handprint. Small. A child's hand. But I was alone. I tried to leave. The car wouldn't start. The battery completely dead. My phone had no signal, no buzz, not even emergency calls. And then I noticed the mirror had changed. It was cracked, not on the outside, on the inside, as if something had tried to get out. The next morning, I went behind the house, looking for a trail, any way out through the forest. That's when I found the old well, half covered with stones. The air smelled of wet earth and rot, meat, spoiled. I looked down. At the bottom, something moved, fast, like an arm or a leg, but not human. I ran, and then I heard it, loud, clear. Stay. It's your turn. That night, I made one last recording. If anyone hears this, burn the house. There's something here. It wears faces. It knows mine. It's using mine now. Right before I could finish, the lights flickered. A freezing cold wrapped around me. The mirror. It didn't show me anymore. It showed them. 3 silhouettes standing behind me. I turned. Nothing there. But the mirror whispered, "You looked. Now, he's you." They found me 2 days later. Hikers said I was lying by the river, barefoot, eyes wide, laughing. In the hospital, they said I had a psychotic break. But what the hikers told the police, that's what keeps me up at night. He was lying in the water, they said, but he didn't have a reflection. Now, I live in silence. No mirrors, no reflections. But sometimes I catch glimpses. Someone with my face, smiling when I'm not. And he's getting closer. Every day, more real.